答えは常に塔の上にある。
間に合う。間に合ったな。アリーナに売店ぐらいあるよな。
After school.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Another episode for the Webtoons here. Got a lot. There's a lot here, man. So much to talk about. Got a high school and Lookism on both ends here. Like we said on the main episode of this week, SIU is still on hiatus. He extended it because as he was drawing the new chapters that were going to come out soon, his wrist wasn't feeling good. It was actually hurting. So he wants to take another break. He said like a few weeks. So I'm guessing hopefully maybe next month we'll see something. But like Adam said, when we heard about this, take all the time you need, man.
That's a work of art you got right there attached to those arms. You gotta like take a break if you need to, don't push it hard.
Another big artist that had the same problems was, again, Kishimoto. And, we saw how that went with the end of Naruto. Yeah, so we'll be holding off our recap for the current arc for Tower God for a future episode. And we'll just see whenever SIU's back in the grind for the chapters. But in the meantime, man, let's get in here and talk about God of High School, the rest of the Ragnarok arc. That's chapters 270 to 307. And intense is all I could really say, man. Like, this guy understands how to keep the high-paced action high-paced.
Not only that, I think he has a good grip on his theology. There's a lot of good names in there that I didn't think he could pull out. Well, except one. Honestly, dude, Satan, I feel like was the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he had to put 666 after, I was fine. But other than that, like, I was surprised that he for real brought out like the whole pantheon, bro. Like, this was that chapter to get hyped for, because he's bringing. Can I just say Zeus is a fucking monster, dude? Dude,
I love the way he portrayed Zeus in this. It was great.
Holy shit, dude! He literally broke it. Oh my god, bro! He started eating people, and I'm like, all right, this guy is too much for me. He's that. He's lawless. He's a fucking prude. He's like the douchebag. If I'm not mistaken, that's how that's how mythology, the mythos fucking portrayed him, actually, like as a fucking
an irresponsible tyrant.
Yeah, exactly, dude. See, I say that because I feel like I had some kind of inkling of a memory where I was reading that Zeus literally did eat his kids or something, or people. It was either that or Egyptian.
Yeah, with Zeus, that was Kronos. Kronos ate Zeus's siblings. That's that from there. No, a lot of it's fairly accurate here. I mean, it's funny because watching the first episode of Blood of Zeus on Netflix, Zeus is the good guy. He's rooting for his son. Here in God of High School, it's like, actually, this is more accurate, man. He's looking at Anna, and he's just like, debauchery, huh? I guess I could do that too, huh? Yeah, it was pretty good, man. It was very refreshing to see a different take on Zeus, because it's all more or less the same with him, except of course God of War, because every god has to be an asshole in that series.
Oh yeah.
But overall, he's usually like the nice guy, and we just kind of forget, who he really is.
What did you guys think about the end result with Ultio R?
Dude, okay, so he's a quadruple agent, and I'm like, all right, dude. He's after the dream that fucking Mugen explained to him. And I'm like, okay, like, in the end, that was all for, I guess, Mugen and his bullshit. I don't know how I feel about that. This guy had a lot of potential. He was the first to experiment from the king. He's literally just Tam itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like he could have done a lot more than just fade away like that. I guess he had a different direction to take the story, because, like, he's not going to be the main boss. And if it all goes this way and it doesn't get super anime, this might be the last time we've seen him, unless it's like in a flashback somewhere or something. I'm sorry, but they gave him that fucking that anime fucking goodbye, that proper one where he's like, "Oh, I'm here now," like in supposedly heaven or wherever the hell he is, purgatory. I don't know.
He's the example of going too high on the bar for your character. Just on the way everything went at the end, and then for it to just poof. almost, right?
Yeah.
And it even got to the point like I always find it bothersome is like we're building up this character out of left field really fast to try to understand like, okay, this is like the antagonist we have to deal with. And then at the very end, before he dies, you know, we have to be like, oh, but you know, you were a cool dude. You were the good guy in the end, you know, kind of thing. Right. With all the other commissioners talking about like, actually, bro, like we don't hate you kind of thing. Like we never did, because R's whole thing was, oh, fuck humanity. I hate them. Like there's no reason they should be around. And then having it at the end, he's like, oh, maybe I was kind of wrong. And then, you know, he dies. I was like, I think it's just building them up. Yeah, he built him up too high to be like, fuck, how am I going to get him down to make it a good ending for it? And I think he mentioned something like that. Like at the end of Ragnarok, there was the afterwards section. I don't know if you guys checked that out. I was just skimming it.
I try, yeah. I skimmed it too.
Yeah, and basically he was saying, he's like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff I could have written better. But it's, you know, it's already out there, so I'm just going to try better next arc. And I feel like that's one of those things with R and his character.
Yeah, you live and learn, you know?
Yeah.
It's not, it's still good substance. It's just like you said, he built him up too high, too fast. And it's like, where do you go from there? So he kind of just did the old, what do you call it? Red tagged? The old redacted? Yeah. On Ultio.
So 86.
Hopefully. Yeah, he 86th, and there you go.
To tack onto what you were saying a little earlier, and I'm sorry I tried to cut you off there. Right now, as far as I'm aware, he is completely gone, except he replaces Mira's arm. So there's that instance of Tam that's left over.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He just might come back. I don't know. But apart from that, you know, a lot about what you were saying is, you know, overall correct in what we assume for a character. And in retrospect, you know, it was to build up, you know, the biggest betrayal that we were going to get from Mugen, you know, and I understand that, like, in retrospect, agreeing with both of you, it is exactly, you know, kind of a bummer to really put all of this development into a character and then just kind of have it like kind of taking a shit on you, just kind of having to, you know, kind of kill them off because now you don't have anywhere to put them in your story, you know, building them up too much and then having no point away to, you know, kind of have them last, especially in a time skip that was going to take place for 17 years. Like that was a big time skip, I think, you know, one of the biggest that's taken place in almost any manga. And I mean, there's been like mangas with multiple time skips in between that haven't added up to 17 years, you know? So that was definitely something that I think, you know, was not something that I saw coming. Because I did mention before that there was going to be a time skip, you know, but I didn't think it was going to be this big. You know what I mean? That's a lot.
Yeah, and there's a reason why it's that big, which, you know, it kind of got teased at the end. That we'll definitely see in the next arc, yeah. But yeah, it totally threw me off too. Was not expecting a big ass time skip like that, especially after everything that just happened. And especially because the way this arc ended, it really felt like we were wrapping up the series itself. But until, you know, the very end when freaking Mubon Park, no more Mugen, he's Mubong, you know.
Fuck no, it's Mubong now.
Yeah,
Mubong year 7.
Yeah, he gets all the disrespect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was just honestly, that was crazy. And you know, it was paced well at the very end, even after like this crazy intense fights, man. Like, there was so much going on. And I said last episode, I guess I have to take it back. Like, I thought Daiwei was really done for sure. But here we are, man. He's coming back in, and you know, I've always said, how is he gonna be on par with Mori and then now with Mira?
How is he gonna break his glass ceiling? Fucking king, dude.
He's got his Rinnegan. You know, he's full on Sasuke at this point.
Oh yeah, dude. He's definitely got the bloodline going.
Yeah.
But that's really lit though. Like I never expected that his power was going to be shared that way. Like it just magically worked that way.
That's I thought it was only to his Dante clones. But apparently, since, you know, he's pretty much God, he could fucking put himself anywhere.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then that, you know, well, it got interesting then when all the other gods showed up, like Odin, Zeus, oh gosh, I forget the lolly girl.
Hera, fucking fucking Uriel.
Yeah, Uriel.
Fucking all these people, dude. And then
again,
Michael,
Michael the angel.
Yeah, Michael, dude. Like, I'm just gonna gush on fucking Ultio, like, real quick again. This guy brought all of them out, like, forcibly as his borrowed power. Like, every single one of them, dude. All at the same time, bro.
Odin.
I'm like, how can you fucking, like, literally, yeah, like, he forced them all out of consciousness to use their power. I didn't think Mori Jin could fucking stand against him, but I remember fucking, Huey and then all this other shit he was fighting with fucking Ashura in the realms.
Let me piggyback on you really quick, Gerry. Now that you brought all this up, let me ask you, how did you feel when they introduced the summons and they actually used them?
Honestly, dude, that shit is too OP. There's just a bunch of spikes everywhere, dude. Like, Mori's getting all the cool shit, dude. Like, he's got the fucking gourd that can transfer people over. He's got the fucking Yoi. He's got the fucking armor. Fuck, man. He got all the equips, dude. He's ready to fucking grind.
The decision to have Mori be so powerful that even when he's exhausted, he can defeat any other god pretty easily. That was crazy. I mean, the fight could have lasted longer with him and Satan, probably. But still, just to see like how strong he is, Sun Wukong is the main god of this story. So I guess that has to make sense, right? Well,
I mean, he has come a long way because he fought Buddha and then he pretty much died.
They did point out that the fact that he learned martial arts really changed his power level as well. Because what is it? When Beelzebub was talking to Satan, he was like, oh yeah, he wasn't like this the last time we fought him. No way. Now that he's been on Earth and learned like martial arts there.
It's that discipline, bro. It changes, man. It changes people. It's
that weird like anime thing where it's like it shows up in Alita too, like the first series for Alita, where it's just like, whoa, martial arts, what is that? It's like these gods don't understand how martial arts work or what? Like they just like, I'm just gonna punch you, bro.
It's like back in their time, they just had like the interpretation like for enlightenment. It's like, like basically rebirth and like going through the realms and then coming back again and then like going on with your knowledge and interpretation of that and so forth until you've reached like true enlightenment, like the path of the Buddha. Like it's some other shit, but they're going based off of that more or less in the manhwa. And one of the things that I was actually paying really close attention to was like the little story, the interpretation of his rebirth, basically. Because they're explaining, the original story was, Taga. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm gonna fuck it up. But it's like Higitaka or whatever, like the Buddha, like the huge giant motherfucking colossus, like in the universe. Like he made a deal with Mori as a punishment. Mori had to carry out the punishment, but at the very end, he got betrayed, and he broke the promise to him. Like we all like kind of like and see their interpretation was basically that. They fucked him over at the very last part. Not that Mori actually fucked up, and like killed like almost everybody. So he had to eat his homie, which was, I guess, is part of the story. I don't know, probably not. I don't know, but he had to eat. He had to eat his homies because I guess his skin or whatever was gonna make demons like super powerful, and that's exactly what happened. That's how his eyes turned red.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you paid attention to that.
Yeah.
But his eyes were blue throughout the entire thing, and then finally his eyes turned red. And then like and it just goes on to like to when Mori's fighting Ultio, and Odin is talking to Satan, and he's telling him like you wouldn't believe this, but he's like been betrayed by the gods, and now he's being betrayed by humans, and as like. Mujin is like killing Taijin and like also like using the holy chalice on him, and it's just like now like you expect him to come back, and who's left? Only other demons. But is he gonna trust other demons? Who knows? Like we can only expect like a new rebirth, again, from the time skip. If Mori Jin himself is not there, it's gonna be somebody else, you know, like somebody new, but like with the same, you know, like shit. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I guess it's like the Avatar. That's literally what came to my mind.
Well, no,
Like,
it's the immortality part is he's just gonna keep being reincarnated every time. And that's why he can't die. Like that's where the crystal thing comes in. I guess like how Taijin found him.
but that took like about 500 years in retrospect. Like, this is gonna happen pretty much immediately. So I don't know if that's gonna like play on the same page. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Hey, who was the one who he ate? Do you guys remember?
I don't remember his name, but it was like Sagahimi or Sagahama or something like that. All right, hold on, let me check.
No, I think it was a woman because remember we got like that astral form that showed up to Mori when he broke like his limiter, and then that's when Odin started explaining to Satan about the story, and then it cut off there.
Is that who you think that is?
Satan asked Odin, like, hey, what was that thing, talking to Mori, and then Odin proceeded to tell the story of why Mori wanted to fight against the gods, and, you know, they did the Journey to the West thing, and then, to me, that assumes that, oh, he's telling the story because that astral, like, form or whatever that talked to Mori was the person, like, he had to eat. I'm just gonna say, I don't know if you guys have seen ahead of what the new design is going to be for Mori, but I'm not the biggest fan for it, and I'll just say
I might have gotten spoiled of it, and I gotta say too, me either.
Yeah. And speaking of designs, I gotta say it really threw me off when Odin showed up and he said his name was Odin, because that I don't know, it just threw me so off guard. I was like, you look like a Blue Exorcist character. What do you mean you're from the Norse world?
Real.
Yeah.
You think like his name was going to be Lucifer or some shit?
Yeah, I thought
right?
he was going to be Lucifer, yeah.
Odin, I think, okay, I chalk that up to, like, he's just really in love with the fucking world, because, you know, he's got that fucking, fooly cooly fucking, he's got that moped going on, and he's got the fucking Valkyries just as maids. I feel like he spent a lot of time in the human world. In Japan, mostly.
Well, observing it, yeah.
Speaking about Odin and, like, the other gods, like, so my interpretation of this arc was, the pillar, the skyscraper that Jin and Iplo were stuck in was the Heavenly Realm, basically. And like all the Heavenly Realm bosses were just like the people that were in charge. So Odin was the ruler of the first realm, and Garuda was the ruler of the second realm, and Shiva who was Iplo, you know, was fighting, was the third realm.
Third, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was making that connection as it went on, and I was like, oh fuck, like, you know, like he pretty much you know, Jin like kind of just rushed straight through like fucking floor 7 through 4, got to 3, dipped, came out, beat up floor 1, and then beat up floor 2. You know, and floor 2 was putting up a bigger fight for the most part until the very end there, when you know, Ultio did his little. I think he went Avatar mode too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was getting whole Avatar vibes from both of them at the end of that fight.
The way they ended Mori Hugh's story was really good, man. Like when I was reading it, I was telling our mutual friend who also reads it, I was like, man, Mori Hugh's really going hard right now. Like, he's got no limbs, and
he got nothing, and he's still like, dude, he could barely lift the fake Yowie too, and he's like gripping that shit within his teeth, dude.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
now,
bro.
That's a way to say farewell to a character right there. And then just the shot of Mori standing there. There's like one panel of him standing there, and then the reflection is of Mori Hugh right under him, and they're both wielding, you know, the staff. And I was like, oh, that's perfect, man.
I like how Mori was just tossing the Yowie around like his hot potato.
Dude,
except it just gets fucking huge.
That was one of the moments where I was like, okay, yeah, like Mori's not gonna have a problem with this fight. Is when he
fuck no.
Oh, what's
remember fucking he dropped it, and then Uriel tried to, who was it? Uriel tried to pick it up.
That was the girl. I keep forgetting her name.
Which girl?
The Nox girl. The bishop?
No, the god. The lolly god.
The one in the blue dress.
Yeah.
Hera.
That's Uriel. That's
Oh,
Uriel.
that's Uriel. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's Uriel, the lolly one. Yeah,
Yeah. When he was like, "Oh, that's not the real one" or whatever, and he tossed her the real one, and her arms just snapped off immediately when she grabbed it, and I was like,
Oh yeah, they just like
Great,
pointed it down.
dude. Whoo, man.
See, it makes me think like one thing that I like in stories, kind of like shonen stories like this, is when we get characters talking to each other about lore that we haven't even seen that's from the past, right? And like that's how things get interesting, right? Like when the redhead guy from the Six was talking to the Hammer guy from like the first tournament, and he was just like, "Oh, I want a rematch with you, buddy." I'm like, "Oh, what's the story behind that?"
Oh, yeah.
You know? And that's the same thing here with Mori. I'm like, why is Mori so OP? What makes him so special? Like, because even without the immortality thing, like the staff is still that heavy regardless.
Dude, for real.
Right? Like I kind of hope as we progress into what's going to be the final stretch of the series here, we get more into that. And I know we already had flashbacks with a different Mori, right, during when they went to the Sage Realm, but I still want to see more of that, of what makes us, Son Goku so special for this story.
Did you guys notice that like there was definitely like battle scars on Yui? It was like always cracked, and I guess it was like it wasn't really explained, but it's just really weird how he can keep breaking it, and he'll just keep pulling out another one.
I like to think he's like just making the clone of it because he knows it's like overkill, isn't it? I don't even know.
It's one of the hardest materials,
Seems
right?
like
Like it went on par with those three brothers that they fought in the Sage Realm,
Yeah.
right? Like their bodies,
the other gods of war.
yeah, like their bodies were made of like the hardest material, and that's why he was able to slice the staff. But I guess it could just fix itself or something, right? Because yeah, it always comes back. Like I'm sure.
Just think it like falls out of the sky, or like he pulls it out of his pocket, like on some interdimensional bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's just able to magically. It's just magic, dude. Like it just works. Like, he can just pull it out.
The only
Dude,
the only time we saw it break was at the very end. Like there was cracks and all that, but it was still a whole piece, right? Like it got sliced during the Sage Realm fight when he was fighting the older brother of the war god, and then it broke at the very end of this arc. And I think that's really the only other times. Like we've seen it break plenty of times, but those were the copies. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. And that's again, that goes back to like I want to see more of why, like it's just so OP. Like even with his thunder, like he could summon thunder, and Zeus compliments it on that. It's like, oh, you're just a clone. I wanted the real one to be here because his lightning rivals mine or whatever. And it's like, really, that's crazy.
Fucking Zeus, man.
Yeah, Zeus was great.
Yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker, dude. He was exactly what I imagined Zeus would be.
He reminds me of okay, two things. He reminds me of that painting of God,
Yes.
or what was it? Saturn eating his fucking son or whatever. Mm-hmm. He reminds me of that.
And you know what really sucks is like the scale was so big, we didn't really get a chance to see other characters shine. Like I know you, Oscar, you said you wanted to see more of, I think his name is Alex, right? Like the descendant of Hercules.
Yeah.
This would have been a perfect time to have him come in and like go one-on-one with Zeus. I wanted to see other characters fight besides like the 6 members and then Mori Jin, right? Because by the time Mori showed up, like Daiwei was already knocked out. But yeah, I wanted to see some Alex action, even with Bake, with Uma. Like I wanted to see them come in. Like I know Uma said like she has no chance because she doesn't really have a real body, but
instead we got a fucking wholesome moment.
Oh, great, fucking great moments.
There, that instance, it's basically like a side B, where basically like she King Uma is like going to find her real body after what is his name?
Garuda.
His name. Yeah, Garuda. Yeah, thank you. His like Garuda tells her where it is earlier. Cause like big reveal, Garuda is one of the 10 demon kings. Before he betrayed them and all that good stuff, and it's just like that didn't get resolved before the time skip, and I'm kind of like, oh shit, like I thought about that after all the emotions were like settled and everything was said and done, and I'm like, fucking staring up and ceiling up at night because I'm just like, this fucking series is so good. I just want to keep reading it.
Really hope he doesn't forget about him.
Yeah,
Shit, dude.
that
Like,
was
that
was crazy. Yeah, because that was like the time skip. It showed everybody, so it would have shown Uma if she was there. Yeah,
Like if it's like that, this is Oda level planning, bro. This is ridiculous, dude. Like honestly, I'm getting worried. Like he might just leave something behind, but that's just me. Fuck it. I really hope that's not the case because there's a lot of gold here that can be dived into. A lot of lore that can happen. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take probably DBZ years in fucking manhwa just to get through a fucking arc. But dude, this is a lore. You guys know it. I'm all about that lore.
Oh, me too, man. I mean, that's why look at Tower, look at One Piece. Like, there's a reason why they're so far in those chapters is because there's so much to cover now. After going through all these arcs and all the build up into one big eventual finality. So yeah, we'll get there, but it's definitely gonna take a while. I mean, right, this arc ended at 307. We're like at 440 something. Was the latest chapter, and we're still going. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be popping up because we're going to be essentially having 3 separate storylines as far like maybe 4, maybe there might be a lot. I don't know because we're going to have stuff with Mira, obviously, right as she wakes up, and you know the interesting thing is we didn't even see her new arm that has Tam in it, right? So I want to see something with that, and then we're going to see Daiwei, he's searching for our boy Mori. We got the whole Mujin Park stuff going on with his
him and his judges.
His outfit, like his appearance does not fit like modern society at all. Like he really feels like he's in like a different shonen series.
I have no idea what happened to him in the past years to make him like just grow out of everything, but he reminds me of Jacked from fucking Final Fantasy, dude.
Yeah. And I guess he lost an arm too, right? During this time skip because he's like, it looked like he had like a fake arm.
No, you know why? Because he was trying to kill fucking Taijin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Then he just gave like his arm just to fucking blast him more.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy though, because all those years of storing that barred power into that cross, dude, that didn't even take him down, dude. Taijin was a fucking beast, bro. Like, of course, what else can you expect from the fucking,
the strongest human, basically?
The up-and-coming God of War, bro. The supposed to be the new candidate for the God of War.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was all fucked. It's crazy.
It was cool seeing Taijin go, almost toe-to-toe with Odin,
Fucking everybody's losing arms, dude.
Shit, dude, that was the least of your problems. By the end of that fight, the very last thing that they did is, he only had his torso left over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that final kick he did was based on instinct alone.
He's like, I've trained this shit over for repetition. It's like, what is it? Yeah, it's instinct. It's like just sudden reflex.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, Taijin. I knew that shit was gonna happen when shit got too happy at the end right there. And then he's like, can I live with you forever? And then slice. I'm like, oh, alright.
Yeah,
alright, fucking Prick Park, fucking bitch.
Yeah, if this was the end of the series, I think it would have ended on a happy note with that. But there's still more to tell, so yeah, you can't just leave it like that. Man, it's crazy how many people died in this arc. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, a very fitting way to end an arc called Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, honestly.
So I think it's time we could go ahead and move on to some Lookism. The Jake Kim arc still going on, chapters 7 through 8. Man, a lot of shit going on right here, man. Definitely, this arc's not ending anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, fucking, you got two of the fucking. They're supposed to be scouts. They're scouting right now, but this is like when they were young and fucking still kind of green, as you can tell by Gun's lack of scar on his face. But it's still crazy how he's just still in like that ultra instinct mode. I'm still trying to figure out the story behind that, like how he loses the fucking color in his eyes just to look like James Lee.
I honestly think he was born with it.
Well, didn't Tom Lee say he's trained Gun to get into that state?
No, he said he's only ever seen one other person, which was Gun.
Oh, okay.
Go into that state. Yeah, because Goo can't do that shit. You know, Goo is
Fuck
just,
no, Goose
you know,
too out there, bro.
he's a genius in another way, you know. And I think that was the point of Tom mentioning that he trained those two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they're, you know, like their measure of power is unsurpassable. Like just like Johan, you know, Johan, when he took on Johan, he's like, I can definitely make you like them. You know what I mean? I think my only gripe about these two chapters is I still more or less get like a sense of that same bullshit that I was complaining about before. And it's basically more or less in the latter half of the 8th chapter, you know, where you're still kind of getting this cliche relationship between these two, and it's just like these like really minor inconsistent miscommunications and circumstances lead up to these huge issues that are affecting everything and everybody. It's just like, God, like you really let your little fucking like baby drama that you just made up in your head like really cause grief to a whole bunch of people in your whole future just for that one moment. And I'm really sorry to bitch about that, but I mean, like, plot devices be damned. That's really fucking dumb. That's a dumb plot device.
I think, but it's very fitting for Samuel as a character, though, isn't it?
But it's just like, why? Like I understand. Like, I honestly, I just kind of saw that as like a fit of jealousy. That's kind of how I saw it. Because it's just like, all right, well, I'm your brother, and you got the dad, and I didn't. And like, I can see that he like would experience a fit of jealousy. I just feel like it didn't really fit in that moment. I didn't really feel like him like kind of having that moment of what do you call it? Self-internalization, like where you're just thinking of negative bottled up emotions about what's going on and how that shit built up to your life. It's just like, fuck it. He doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm going to do my thing.
I kind of agree with that. He is sounding a little salty when he's like, "You're the son of Gabrion Kim," and he's like, "That's my dad's name," and he just walks away. But then again, I will say he had a fucking bottle of champagne in his hand, so he could have been. But who knows?
I mean, like I said, I'm sorry to bitch about that. I know it's plot device. Like, I know it's kind of fitting in the plot device. I'll totally give it that.
There's got to be some sort of conflict, I believe, between them two, because like you can't just have. I feel like, especially in Lookism, you can't have like these two big names just meet each other and be all fucking like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Hey!" And then just get back together. You need to work up to that.
It's similar to, like, I agree with you, Gerry, because it's similar to how with Gun and Goo, right? Like they don't always seem buddy, but like they're definitely closer in this flashback than they are in the present, right? Because now in the present, Goo's trying to fuck up Gun while Gun's trying to do his own thing.
They're all trying to backstab each other, fucking whatever. No, but in this one, they're working the same goal. Yeah,
that's just how those kind of characters have to be, I think, to keep them relevant into the story. Yeah, or like they
at least have a reason for that. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but they talk about how like they're good partners for each other. Like they're team players with each other, but they're still like versus each other. They're trying to see out of the two of them which one will come up with the money for the CEO first. And that's something that they've established already. You know, Gun has his little thing going on with the 4 groups, and like Gun is, you know, or no, I'm sorry, not Gun. Goo is, you know, trying to make sure that he has his little side group going on for when things get to a head, like he knows things are going to come to. You know what I mean? I think that these things have been well thought out in advance. Like the Lookism author is definitely on some Oda shit. Let me tell you that. You know, he's already thought out about the next 3 or 4 chapters or 3 or 4 arcs in advance and how it's all going to play out when it comes to, you know, the final, you know, climax when it comes to that. But my main issue that I mentioned last time was I don't feel like they had to be related. I don't feel like they had to be brothers.
No. Yeah.
I think that's bullshit. And I think that the reason why he got irritated, like, I agree with you. I agree with the both of you. Like, yes, there has to be a conflict. I just don't think that it had to be that.
No, yeah, I still don't like it because it's just too easy to do, and like you said earlier, very cliche. But very cliche. If we're just gonna have to work with it, then I'm just gonna have to be fine with it because it's very obvious that at least now, once after these 2 chapters, that J. Kim probably still doesn't know, even when he gets out of jail in prison, he probably still doesn't know that they're related unless Samuel's going to say something when they're inevitably going to fight each other at the end of this arc. But if he doesn't say anything, then yeah, I don't think they're going to know, which doesn't really make it. The only relevance that them being brothers has is Samuel's hatred towards Jake. Yeah. Which, again, like, yeah, I could see how you could, like, not be a big fan of it, because it is essentially almost lazy writing, because you can write something else that would make Samuel actually hate Jake more. And, like, we could see that tension here with the decision of what to do now that Gun and Goo are trying to get a big deal into the four affiliates, right? Like, there's already tension there, and it's only going to grow bigger after, like, all this stuff is going to get resolved in the coming chapters.
You know, this is where, you know, the story is pretty much taking off in the action scenario that we've kind of been waiting for. For another, like, good second, really quick, I do want to, like, give my props to the original boss, the big boss for
Sinu.
Yeah, Sinu. Like, Sinu is really cool. Like, let me tell you, I really, like, again, I really think it's weird that Jake Kim now all of a sudden has a different personality compared to this personality from when he was younger. But man, like, if there was any role model to have, like, Cena would be the fucking man. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm like, okay, you want to talk about delinquents, but delinquents have fucking honor, dude. Like, this isn't just about, like, some fucking mafia, like, Yakuza type shit. Like, even the point of Yakuza is that there are fucking honorable men in dishonorable situations, goddammit. Like, goddamn, that's what I fucking love.
That's why I love delinquent mangas like Crows and Worst and all that.
Yeah, definitely something to recommend. Check it out. Like, Men of Honor, like, that's what you fucking strive for, basically. You know what I mean? It was really cool to see his backstory go down in chapter 7. You know, we get, like, the girls, especially. Like, I really grew, like, a strong sentiment in, like, literally 9 panels just about these girls that he's been protecting in, like, the whole street. And you see him with the battle scars and everything like that. You see how fucking determined and scary this nigga is when he's, like, not letting Goo make a single move. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like, that's somebody, like, you know, that if he was still around and kicking, like, you would, like, really be, like, worried about, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice callback too, right, to his first introduction a few chapters back, where he's just he's getting treated by one of the girls, and it's like, dang, it's really been 10 years since I've been protecting this street. And then, you know, you just see all those people laid out, and then, yeah, coming back to these chapters and getting his backstory. Really good stuff. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss him when this arc is over, because I think this is the only time we're gonna see him. I can't imagine we're gonna see him any further, especially with them mentioning, like, yeah, isn't Sinu, like, a little too old to be part of the 4 affiliates? Because the whole thing is, like, not adults, right? That's what the 4 affiliates are. They're supposed to be high schoolers and all that, making money for the big boss. And, man, crazy to throw in the name, if I'm not mistaken, right? James Lee, right? They mentioned him in these chapters.
That's right. It was kind of the white elephant in the room at the very end there. I'm not gonna lie, I did honestly forget about that. Now, was it me, or did it? To me, that panel looked like that person wasn't Daniel. Like, that wasn't him. Like, I think his hair was really curly, and I was like, I don't really think that the hair that Daniel has matches that hairstyle or that color, because it didn't look like it was black. Kind of looked like it was just a really dark brown to me. And I also think that in case you didn't notice, it was like another side panel where he was, like, scrunching something up, but it looked like plastic. And I think what he was doing was, I think he was putting labels over trophies. Like, I think he was, like, laminating names and stuff like that. I think that what he was doing was making fake trophies to put in the trophy case. Why would one person just in the middle of a classroom have a whole bunch of trophies everywhere, like, lying on desks and floors, you know? Like, I think it's like a really big, like, X-Files conspiracy. I'm really thinking, and I'm telling you, like, this guy is really, like, 3 or 4 arcs ahead. Like, he's really setting you up for, like, scenarios that he's really not about to bring up in a really long time. So it's like get a really good look at what's happening now, because we're not gonna like these aren't gonna be brought back up again into like really juicy parts. I honestly think that the next time that we see these things, something is gonna happen between Daniel and Crystal. Like they're gonna find out each other's secrets. That's what I really think is gonna come up, especially because we're getting closer and closer to the trail leading to the CEO.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. I think that's probably going to be, yeah, like in a long time from now, like you're saying, like way ahead. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to be interesting to see what's even after this arc, right? Are we going to continue straight to J. Kim after this? Because I think that would probably be the best route to go. But then, like, where does Daniel come in with all of that, right?
You mean James?
The whole James thing, I'm still waiting till we get more stuff, personally, because I think,
Daniel doesn't exist here yet, though. This is a flashback.
but I'm talking about after this arc.
I don't know, man. Like, when I saw him right there just sitting down, at the end of the chapter 7, I thought, like, he was, like, reminiscing or some shit about something. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if he was, like, making them. Or if he was just polishing them. But I just need more info on what the fuck, like, all the trophies are for. Because it seems like that school has been empty for, like, the longest fucking time.
Yeah.
There had to have been something to happen where he would have to, like, switch consciousness or something. I don't know. This is all speculation. Because it's so weird how just I don't know, just by the info we have right now, fucking James Lee was actually a fucking person, supposedly. And then,
And he's the boss of what's to be the 4 affiliates during this flashback.
like, a lot of this stuff it's a lot of big fucking facts and info and shit, but it's like, I'm still trying to figure out the little pieces to connect together. Like, the inside of my head looks like that whiteboard that you see all the fucking... You see, like, Johan's face, and you see Jake Kim's face and all that.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Like with the strings and the thumbtacks.
Yeah, like Pepe Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got you.
Exactly.
It's the one thing that I hate and love about it. I definitely, kind of bitched about it before. I've even had my little fun with it. I think you guys remember when I was coming up with that conspiracy that the guy that Daniel is meant to beat, the CEO supposed to be. I totally don't even remember their names right now because they haven't been brought up in such a long time. But he was the idol with the pink hair.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
DQ?
DQ. Thank you. So I remember I was coming up with like a really like wild theory that DQ is also one of those people that have altered bodies, and the alternate body is the little kid.
You know what? Fuck, that could be plausible too. I mean, the fact that, like, he could have a second body, because that shit is, like, everything's up in the air until we fucking read it, Like, it's, why does it have to only be Crystal and Daniel to have these body switches? Why can't it be, like, some people who work with Crystal who are actually, like, somehow connected to Director Choi? Because that's where it seems like all this shit stems from. Director Choi did something... And somehow James Lee's consciousness is somewhere else while Daniel's taking over his body along with his own body.
Right.
So I don't, dude. Some shit's going on. Is DG. He could probably have like some fucking. He could probably, dude. What if he was Duke?
No. They don't always
They're both
have,
performers,
they don't always
dude.
have to be fat. I don't think that's gonna be the thing.
Little middle schooler kid. He's a freshman now.
Yeah.
They both have.
Dude, I'm
pink
just
hair.
saying,
That
dude.
little kid's a
They're
genius.
both,
Like, it makes
dude.
sense.
But I'm just saying, him and Duke, DG and Duke are both performers. Duke got up pretty fucking high in the fucking whatever the fuck Twitch the equivalent was in Lookism. Like, he was out there just putting his name out there, and people like it because this dude has some talent. DG's out here just fucking living, and people are like, "Oh my god, DG." I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to think it's Duke because, fuck yeah. Duke.
Yeah, but Duke though, like, because that means Duke's
Yeah.
gonna be the antagonist eventually. I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want.
I want him to keep rapping
Duke's-
and be happy.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. But no, definitely,
He's,
like, if we're following a traditional shonen route, there's, the main character who has this ability, and then there's the main heroine who also has the ability, right, Crystal, and then, of course, you're gonna have to have the antagonist who has, like, the better version of that. And we're gonna see that eventually, for sure. Because there's no way Crystal's dad's like, yeah, two's good enough. Like, no. Like, they're making better versions. Like that.
They gotta be like prototypes or something, dude. Because like, unless if he's thinking it that way, because I would think he's fucking thinking about it like that, like just one big ass experiment to find the perfect idol or something.
Well, look, the way I can see it is Crystal's side, right, is showing how intelligence can work with that, right, because of how smart she is and how calculated she could be and everything she does. And then on Daniel's end, it's all about retaining abilities and learning new techniques on the fly as you're fighting.
Yeah, he's got that fucking copycat skill.
Yeah,
dude.
And then maybe that's why Gunn specifically is keeping an eye on Daniel's, because Boss Man wants to keep an eye on Daniel at all times, making sure things are still going as planned. And then we're going to see one of the final bosses, the antagonist, who's going to have the best of both of Crystal and Daniel. Right, he's going to be super smart and being able to adapt at the same time.
Why are we thinking about this like a shonen, bro? This is like,
I mean, this is seinen for the most part, but it has the shonen action. So I think a lot of shonen elements are still going to be here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
I'm still thinking of like the early days of Lookism, where it was all about fucking high school drama and bullshit.
Yeah, it was all K-drama.
We're past that fucking shit, dude. This is all like gang wars and fucking blurred knives and shit.
Yeah, I gotta say, the censorship, like I've mentioned it before, it really distracted me in this chapter with the katana, with the goddamn chopsticks being censored. It's crazy because it was never like this until like what, the last arc?
Yeah. Yeah, the one where they were... they didn't even use that knife for anything, dude. They just cut the ropes off fucking Senior Manager Kim.
Yeah, and...
Right? That was the one, right?
Yeah, it was... Yeah, Manager Kim, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's... I don't know if it's Webtoon, they needed to update their policies for certain reasons, or if it was like something over in Korea. Because remember, for a long time... I think we mentioned it on like the spoiler cast we did a long time ago, where it was like, it's like, oh, now they're adding the parental advisory in the beginning of the chapter. It's like a little late for that, buddy. It's like so in my face. It almost pulls me back from the fights sometimes, but, yeah, that's just my only complaint overall for Lookism right now is the censorship. Other than that, man, the chapter 8 ended with some hype stuff that we're going to see. Right, here comes the black... Was it the Black Bear Gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming in, and they're just like, oh, you boys are running my turf? I don't think so. So we're going to see definitely Young Gun in action. And probably...
I am pretty sure, though, that, like... It wasn't Big Deal trying to get rid of, like, the Black Bear Gang off the fucking territory.
Yeah.
Well, no, Big Deal was just they had beef with the Black Bear Gang, and that was it, because they would come into that street and cause problems, and that's why Big Deal has to be there, so that way, they could protect the girls in the stores from them.
Yeah,
That's
like
wild,
protection
man.
racket,
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, I don't know. I'm not in crime, Oscar.
Oh.
But yeah, that's wild, man. It's gonna be a bloodbath for sure. Because, like, you got a bunch of adults and pretty much 2 Super Saiyans.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious what the outcome of this fight's going to be, right?
Yeah, dude.
And I know it's something that, again, is totally obvious. But one of the things that I am looking forward to is I am looking forward to collaboration between the two of them fighting. Because I don't think I've ever seen that yet. I don't think there's ever been a moment where both Gun and Gu were fighting at the same time. They usually just let one or the other go for each other, like, oh, you take them, or you're going to take this one. Or, okay, I won't do anything. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah,
like,
there's numbers for sure, so they gotta, like, they both have to start moving, doing something.
I wonder if they're going to cooperate with each other, or if they're just going to...
Fucking Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Bros Attacks, I'm so ready.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what's going to go on with there. And we'll probably, again, we'll probably see more Ultra Instinct bullshit in here, too.
God, we're all so over that shit. I'm glad he doesn't use it a lot.
No, it's on all the time.
No, I mean, like, the author just...
He doesn't keep bringing it up, yeah. One thing I do want to see, though, is how Samuel's going to react to this.
He does have it on all.
React to them whooping Black Bear Gang's ass, right? Because he was just like, no, bullshit, we're not going to work for some people that we don't even know if they're stronger than us. You know?
Didn't he say that? He was, like, testing them, though?
Yeah, like, this is their test now to see if they actually are as they say they are for strength, you know? And, you know, Jake Kim also kind of agrees with that, too. So I definitely want to see how they're going to respond to seeing them whoop all these adults.
I call bullshit, though, on Samuel, because he had to make, what was it, 250 million won? Or something like that?
There's 100,000?
100,000 million won.
Yeah.
So anyway, see, he had to make a lot, and he did it all legally, but he didn't explain how he got the money. Like, obviously, the trend here is that none of what these niggas are doing was legal. And it's fairly obvious. So, whatever Samuel did to get that money, I think he's just going to repeat the process with his new gang. Because whatever he thought of in that moment was probably foolproof enough for him to try to reinterpret again, but make it work on a bigger scale. You know what I mean? That's my little foreshadow into what's going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to get explained. Like Jake's probably going to ask him, and that's going to be one of the catalysts for them getting even bigger tension between them. And then Jake just hating Samuel at the end. That's probably going to be one of the reasons. Because it's going to be something Jake's definitely not going to agree with, I think.
Definitely spot on there.
So big hype, man. Can't wait to see how much longer we got for this arc. Because I feel like, it's going to be a good while. So cool, man. I think it's safe to say we go ahead and wrap up this episode for today. Big hype, man. Can't wait to get into the more God of High School and patiently waiting for Tower of God to come back. And so while we wait for the next episode, guys, you can always send an email, unversedpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. We'll talk about it in the next episode. And then follow us anywhere on social media, Unverse Podcast. Let you know when those episodes come out. So thanks, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.